Hey, warriors. Oh, so I want to talk about the sun, not from panic, um, but I don't want to spiritually bypass either. I want to talk about it as truthfully as I can because there are legitimate concerns happening about solar activity, and pretending nothing is happening, isn't grounded, but neither is catastrophizing whatever about it. So we're going to try to meet it as honestly as we can. Okay, so first things first. The sun isn't suddenly evil or broken or attacking us. Um the sun goes through cycles, as we all know, always has. And so, solar maximums and solar minimums are part of a known rhythm. Right now, you know, we are moving through a period of heightened solar activity, extremely heightened. Um, that's not belief, that's observable. I will give you, actually, let me just say this. There's people that are saying, "Ooh, this is really cool," which is they're fucking crazy, okay? There's people acting like there's not a big deal. They're fucking crazy too. Then there's people in the middle who, like I just said, know that there is legitimate concerns right now. Legitimate concerns. Um I would say for my best source that I go when I want to know something, or if I feel something in my body, which usually is the case, something's happening. I go check Stephen Burns on YouTube. That's He's about as smart as he can be, um, and tells you the truth. So, um, that's where I would go if I were you. If you want to know, because I'm not a geophysicist or whatever, whatever the hell they're called. Um, anyways, you know, obviously we know solar storms affect satellites and power grids and communication systems. Earth's magnetic field. This is not new, okay? Um, what is new is how sensitive, our bodies are. Um, the the human nervous system is electromagnetic. The heart is its own field, and the brain operates on, electrical signals. So, yes, changes in the Earth's, magnetic environment can be felt. Honestly, it can really, really be felt. Especially if, people who are more sensitive, more disassociated, less numbed out, more embodied. Um, and those types of symptoms are, fatigue, pressure in the head or chest. I tend to get quite a bit of pressure in my head. Um, Disrupted sleep, uh, emotions surfacing, nervous system sensitivity, things like that. Feeling this, doesn't mean something is wrong. It means you're aware. However, in this case, like I said, there are legitimate concerns right now. So we do need to keep an eye on it. Spiritually speaking, the sun has always been seen, as a regulator, a life force, a timing mechanism, a catalyst, that kind of thing. But here's the grounded truth, okay? spiritual understanding, does not mean ignoring physical reality, and physical awareness does not mean living in fear. Both can coexist. The sun isn't here to punish us, but it's not here to save us either. Okay? Um, it's part of a larger system recalibrating. What harms people isn't the solar activity. It's fear plus imagination without grounding. We all know that fear dysregulates our nervous systems. It collapses our discernment. And we're not going to be able to, get through these types of things if we continue to give our power away every time there's reason for fear, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You don't need to obsess. You don't need to track every, solar flare, and you don't need to ignore what's happening in your body either. Calm awareness, I guess, is the middle path. What supports, what you can do to support you through these heightened solar periods is hydrate, rest, the normal stuff, grounding, slowing your pace. Not panic though, guys, not spiritual superiority either, not denial, but presence. I want to be clear. This is not a punishment cycle. It's a transition phase, and both technologically and biologically, and we don't know what's going to happen. If you want my opinion, and this is an opinion, I don't know shit, okay? But if you want my opinion, I honestly believe that the outcome is going to depend on our coherence as a collective. That's why I made the video the other day talking about how our choices right now matter more than they ever have. And they do, legitimately. This isn't, I don't care if I wasn't spiritual. I wouldn't care if I wasn't half-ass awake. I wouldn't care what the case was. I would still be sitting here telling you this right now. They matter, and there is legit concerns. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not about fear. So that is not what I'm doing. I'm only trying to be honest right now. But it's not, it's just a transition phase, like I said. And humanity, they built fragile systems, and nature is not obligated to adjust to them. I mean, I don't, so you don't need to be afraid of the sun, but you also don't need to pretend that nothing's happening. Truth is living in the middle with this, stay grounded, stay embodied, stay present, and don't let fear, narrate what awareness is meant to guide, if that makes sense. We are capable of meeting this moment calmly. I love you.